Another thing that I really love after becoming an atheist is realizing there's no hate like Christian love. And it's so true. Religious people can say they love babies and want to protect human life. But when they do abortion bans that cause more infant deaths and mothers' deaths, they don't care about the unborn. Because if they did, they would give the living a better life. They wouldn't have fatherless children lose stamp coverage. They wouldn't lose SNAP coverage. They wouldn't treat single mothers as though they are harlots. They would care about them. They would be able to call churches and get instant help for food and employment. They wouldn't be turned away. And that's really the problem with religion. They care more about money and their image than they do about human beings. And after all the abuse, control, and the way they treat minorities and marginalized non-straight people, nothing a church can do can undo the bad that they do. You just can't. And I'd say the only hateful responses I've ever received on YouTube were from Christians. I mean, in the last 2 weeks alone, I received about 300 responses to me coming out. And the only 3 negative responses I got were from Christians, fundamentalists, or just regular Christians. All the atheists were kind, friendly, welcoming, and supportive. Even people who aren't religious. But the ones that truly had venom coming from their fingertips, typing on the response bar, were Christians. The more religious you are, the less compassion you have. And I've worked jobs where I've met hundreds of thousands of people, and it holds true every time. The most accepting, loving, moral human beings on this planet are atheists, agnostics, and humanists. Because they have no reason to be self-righteous. There's nobody to fool. There's nobody to guilt trip into escaping hell. They're wonderful people. Atheists don't stand next to abortion clinics and scream obscenities. They don't go to transgender funerals of people who've been harmed by homophobes and scream, "God hates trans people." Christians are the people who do that. That's just the way they are. And yeah, there's a few decent Christians out there. But it's always been the majority of religious people would rather perform an honor killing and perform an exorcism instead of hugging, caring, and respecting somebody. Christians thrive on fear. And I'm just tired of the whole stupidity that comes from religion. It's a myth. If you want respect, stop believing in myths. Live knowing that myths aren't real. And yeah, you have never met hatred until you've come across a Christian who wants to prove you wrong. And Christians are usually the angry, the hateful, the bigoted, the cruel. I'm not saying every single one. I'm saying every Christian I've ever met has been that way. And that's just something I have to live with. So whatever Christians are doing to try to convert me, they're failing. I don't think it could fail anymore if you ordered it off a menu. Because, goodness sakes alive, it's like every Christian I've ever met, they have to prove you're wrong. Like, you don't get a medal for proving someone wrong. And really, my goal in life is not to prove people wrong. Now, if people are spreading statistics that aren't true, I'll tell them that they're blowing smoke out of their butt. But I don't have to prove people wrong. I'm not saving people from hell. And that's what's the nice thing about being an atheist. I can live my life. And as long as what other people believe and how they live doesn't harm or make other people afraid, or where they can't live their life due to religious voting. I don't care what people do.